Hey Tony and Luke, so just a quick one with how to use the invoice. This here, they are two text boxes just aligned. So that is one, that's the other. If you want to get in there and change those details, you've just got to select the one you want and then double click inside and then you can change that. The invoice date that's highlighted at the moment is actually a field, it's automatic. You don't actually have to touch it because every time you open up the app, it'll just automatically put in the current date. The invoice number, now I don't know if you really need that, but you might find a use for it. Now what you can do is every time you start a new invoice, you can just update the invoice number. I recommend renaming the file once you're done with it, renaming the invoice to include this, just so you have a good record of each invoice and you have something that you can filter it by. So if you want to search for an invoice, you've got that. And the reference, you can reference the site location as well, so the client's house or wherever you're working, and then you can identify the invoice by that. And I need you to update your address there. I don't know the number of your house, that's all. Make sure you fill in the customer's name here, and if you want to put like a phone number for the client as well, that might be something to put there as well. It could come into use for Luke in particular. This here, the table, now this has a few things with it. If you want to adjust stuff, just make sure you select here, double click on it, and it's going to give you a bit more detail here. Now to delete rows, you just have to click on the box that references it, hit delete, and then hit rows like that. Now it's better to fill in the information first and then delete the ones you don't need. Make sure you save the edited copy as a different file, just so you've always got that clean slate to work on every single time you want to start a new invoice. Just because when you delete stuff, the functionality in these fields is actually removed at the same time, and I'll show you how that works now. So as you can see, the wall tiles one here, it's got quantity 2, the unit price is 13.76. GST is always going to be 10% of the unit price, so I'll just show you how it works. I'll go floor tiles here, and then you might want to put in a bit of information like in the brackets there, because I know you do price per square meter. If that's how you want to do it, I'd recommend putting the information in the description, so $70 per how many square meters, and then just make the quantity 1 and the unit price the price you paid for that order, and then you can do the GST on that order. So you don't need to do it like quantity for every single tile. So do floor tiles, something at whatever. Let's just say the order for the tiles was $123. That was the total price for that order of floor tiles there. Then you can just select the field here where it says 0. Double click it, update, and then that does an automatic 10%. Now the total AUD will do the calculation for you. It'll go the quantity multiplied by the unit price and the GST. So for example, if you had multiple items, it includes the GST for each unit and then multiplies it recursively. And then you can just do the same thing for that, and that's automatic. Now you can do that for every single one, but keep in mind if you were to create a new row down here, it's actually going to not include any of that functionality there. So insert below, see how it's got no zeros or anything there. You'd have to put all that in manually, unfortunately, but that's not too big of a deal. And just make sure that you double check everything first, just to make sure when you are sending the quotes off, you're not sending unupdated information there. So that's a bit of an easy fix, but nice and easy. It's familiar to use, which is good. A lot of those invoicing applications take a little bit of time to get used to, so this is a good first step. Most important thing, those calculations won't work if the quantity is 0. So just make sure, if you are doing the floor tiles by a certain amount of square meters, that quantity still stays 1. That's pretty important if you want the calculations to work nicely for you. This footer here, you can't. These fields don't update automatically. The only one that does is the invoice date. The invoice date's automatic, so it's the same as this one up here. It'll just do it automatically every time you open it up. It saves a bit of double handling there. So if you want to edit the footer, you just need to double tap in here and make sure that this bit here is sort of up. That means that you're in it. Now the way it's sort of positioned is that this is sort of up more above the footer, so in order to do it, you've got to sort of click the text box here, double click inside the text box. Make sure you don't go outside the text box, because it's going to send you back to the normal one. You can tell where you are if this is all shaded, but yeah, that's how you would do that. And the same thing with here. Don't double click here. If you're out here, you can't double click there. It's not going to do anything. You need to make sure you double click down here. So yeah, that's the difference. To just have a look and see what's highlighted and what's not. But yeah, if you've got any more questions, just let me know. If you need me to add more stuff in, I'm fine to do that. Not a problem. Alright, that should be it. Let me know if you need anything.